Hey guys, looks like I'm live. What's going on, everyone? This is called Spontaneous Live Stream. I'm bored. I got nothing to do. Hoping everybody's out there. I can just chat with Cardboard Guy all night long. Pretty cool. Cardboard Guy, you just sit waiting for me to come on or something? That's pretty cool. I'm impressed. Before I even pushed the going live button, you were there. I don't even know how you do that. That's very cool. Wow. 4 people. I think people are bored on Tuesdays. What do we got going on here? Hi. Hello. There is a Wednesday chat, but it's on Rob's channel. I got to work tomorrow night, so I was just sitting at that. Man, why not? Come on. Wow, very cool. There's a few people with not much going on. I'm going to put a link up here if anybody wants to come up. It's just a free for all. Oh, hey, Marcia. Yeah, I just put a link up. Anybody wants to come up? Please, Marcia, come up and yap with me. Wow, what's the topic? I got nothing. Wow, 16 people already. I think everybody's bored on a Tuesday night. This is crazy. I did notice that Larry Graves put a video up today, which I was really interested in, that Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings are suing Jim, what's his name, Peterson or Patterson, the drummer who owns the name The Guess Who, and that phony Guess Who band he has touring around. They're suing him for 20 million bucks. That'll be interesting if anything happens with that lawsuit because of I'm no lawyer, but I thought if you owned the name, you could do whatever the hell you wanted with it. So, Sam, I'm just came up because I got nothing to do and I can't do a chat tomorrow night. So if you want to come on up, buddy. I put a link up there, just up about 5 or 6 things from you there. Anybody's welcome to come up tonight. This is not an official chat. The official chat is Wednesday night. This week it will be on Rob Northern Revolution's channel at 8 p.m. You finally listened to Hackney? I've only sampled it on Spotify. I'm just not interested. I shouldn't say that, but I should listen to the whole album. But I didn't find the tracks that exciting. Sorry, man. I think I'm the only one who isn't excited about this album. Do you own any slaves? I'm not sure what that means. I need to buy some. Oh, well, well, here, go elsewhere. I just banned them. Yeah, get that. Why won't that comment get off the screen? Yeah, sorry about that, folks. I think that was an asshole. Yeah, heavy and a bottle of bread is better than sad-eyed. Ooh, ouch. Ouch. I, is heavy and a bottle of bread, is that on the Stones album or something? Unlike the multiple drifters on tour. Yeah, that's why I think this lawsuit might not go anywhere. There's the who were the guys who did the Greek Pretend? The Platters have like 6 touring bands. The Drifters. I mean, did John Fogerty ever try and stop Creedence Clearwater Revisited? How about Marty Robbins' Gunfire? I have not listened to that yet, Charlie. It's on my list. I have plans. That's all I'm going to say. I'm waiting to see how much it's going to be in the retail store. I'm going to hold it in my hand. It's last time I looked at Amazon Canada, it was like 40 some dollars a set. So $80. I don't need it that bad. So I'm hoping if I could pick them up for $30 a piece, I might ask for them for Christmas. I think I can wait. If Santa's thinks I've been a good boy. Yeah, so getting back to the Guess Who, I'm a big fan, and I hope they win the lawsuit because I would love to see Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings go back and tour as the Guess Who rather than Bachman Cummings. Yeah, Guess Who's been going on too long. Yeah. I do like McCartney 3. Yes, I was challenged by I think it was my good friend Sam when I was saying how I think the new Stones album will be a dust collector. I think a lot of people are just overexcited about it, a new Stones album, and in a couple of weeks that'll all die down and people are just going to forget about it. And so that's why I didn't buy it because I think it'll be on the shelf. So anyway, I was saying that my dust collector theory, and I think I can't remember who it was. I thought it might have been Sam. Said or somebody mentioned, hey, well, what about the new McCartney albums? I don't think McCartney albums are dust collectors. I still like them. So, Glenn, have you ever seen Blue Rodeo? Lots of times. I love Blue Rodeo. Great band. Seen them quite a few times. Great live band. Great albums up to a point. I don't buy their albums anymore. I think they've kind of lost it a little bit, but I thought Randy owned the name and bought out Burton. Did he sell the name or am I confused? No, they haven't owned the name since the 80s. That guy, why am I forgetting his name? Is it Peterson or Patterson? The drummer. He saw the name was available and he scooped it up. And shame on Burton and Randy for not recognizing that. I saw Guess Who in 2002 with Burt Bachman and Cummings. Awesome. I only saw them once, and that was where did I see them? Yeah, once. I saw them at a thing called Time Being in 1969 in Toronto at the exhibition grounds before they really hit it big. It was the next year they really got really big. It's a perfect album. I'm not a fan of country music. Yeah, I definitely gotta listen to that album, Charlie. Listened to the Red Album last night. Now I know why everyone seeks out the mono albums. Is that right? You buy the now. I'm thinking about buying this. If I don't buy the sets, I'm going to buy the single. Thanks for straightening that out. Yeah, you didn't like that, eh? You know, you're welcome to come up. Flat, round, and spun. Yeah, so anyway, I brought over my Guess Who stuff. Oh, here's Marcia. Oh, good. I have a friend.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good.
That's good.
Hey, Trevor.
Yeah, I don't know why Trevor. I tried to get him to come up, but he's shy.
He probably has to go to work at 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was talking about the Guess Who. Are you a Guess Who fan?
I mean, I know the radio hits, but beyond that, I don't really know much of anything.
Really,
But
eh?
I heard what you were talking about with the lawsuit. You know, sometimes people just file lawsuits in the hopes that it'll be settled for any kind of monetary amount so that they can get, if nothing else, a couple of bucks.
Well, I think they want the name back. I think
I
that's what
know.
they're trying to do. Maybe they're trying to force them, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna cost you so much money in legal fees fighting this that you might want to sell us the name back."
Yeah, or give us $50,000 to go away.
Yeah, because I think I don't think Randy Bachman or Burton Cummings need the money. I'm sure they did fine.
I don't know the history
And
behind
and
them
Randy
all
Bachman, he
either.
also is he's touring again as Bachman Turner Overdrive too. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Trevor says he's in the car, so that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Well, Trevor, that's too bad. Get out of the car. I broke down and ordered the new Beatles Red and Blue on black for the new tunes and redo. I don't know. I'm waiting. Are you buying that or?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Me? Are you not a big Beatles fan or you just don't?
No, I am, but I have chosen not to talk about the Beatles because there's nothing I can bring to the Beatles of any interest. I'm not this huge Beatles fan like you or Mazzy, where I've got a whole bunch of insider, information because I've done a lot of research on them.
Yeah.
Um,
I
you
only know
know,
what I know from just growing up with them, and
right.
I'm not a collector
Okay. I
like
thought you were.
Rob's is serious. Like
So,
he'll buy everything. Beetle and Mazzy, they got to own everything and every color. And I just, I'm happy just having it. I just need the music.
I mean, I've got everything on CD, so I
Yeah,
am in certainly no rush to replace. Hi, Steve. I am in no rush to replace anything on vinyl. Um, and
Steve, you want to come up with us?
I do have one thing of Beatle memorabilia, though. Maybe I should bring it out and show it.
Oh yeah, Steve, I just put a link up. You're more than welcome to come up. Just spontaneous. I know you're on with Larry today. Maybe you're all chatted out. Just put a shirt on, buddy. I don't need you naked.
All right, so this is an animated cell.
Oh, is that an original cell?
No, it's not an original. I think it's like number 50 of 300.
Wow, that's very cool.
So I got this about 25 years ago. I paid a lot for it at the time, and I paid a lot to have it framed. I'll never get rid of it.
No, that's beautiful.
So this is like I have very little music memorabilia, but this is one thing.
That's fantastic. I love that.
So I was thinking about I should change it out for this picture that I have here.
Wow. Yeah, you should. That'd be great background for when you're doing YouTube stuff.
But I was like,
Yeah.
it'd be really difficult for me to constantly swap it in and out because I've got another picture that flanks that one that kind of
Uh,
is the theme.
oh, oh, you're a coordinated type of person, are you? Everything's got to be.
It's not that everything's got to be so matchy matchy, but when I bought this place, there was wall sconces here,
Oh, okay.
and they didn't work and all of that. And I got an electrician in, and he looked at it and he goes, "They don't work because they're not hooked up to your electrical box. They're put in there with lamp wire that somebody had cut and patched over."
Oh man.
So when I took them down, I had big patches of old paint behind them. And I was like, I can't repaint this entire place because they had painted it before I had bought it and moved in. So I was
Yeah.
like, well, I'll just put these pictures up in the meantime until I decide to
There you
repaint.
go. Then it works.
So that's why I have the two pictures of the same size.
Here's interesting. Robert's got a good idea. The guest that phony touring band should have a question mark after guest who.
That is a good idea. Guess who? Maybe?
Are they ever
Or
going to
they
release
can do
London?
this emoji after, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think McCartney doesn't want to compete with the Beatles stuff that's going on. That would be my guess. But
Oh, Steve, you'll
about
have to let us know how the Rory Gallagher book is.
I don't know if he's reading the same book that I told him about because I'm
Oh,
reading
okay.
a really good Rory Gallagher book, and I gave him the title. Steve, are you reading that book that I gave you the title of? Nice picture. Yeah, it's
Thank you.
that's a cartoon cell. That's fantastic. Wow.
So I'm currently
So I'm going to
reading.
guess you paid like a couple of hundred, oh, maybe more, $500. Wow. Now, what are they going for now?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I've got a certificate of authentication around here somewhere in a box. I mean,
Yeah,
I have moved probably 8 times since I got that, so it could very well even be lost.
I'm reading the one you recommended. Yeah, it's a really good book, man. Steve must be liking it because he's reading it. I'm about I don't know if I'm halfway through yet. I'm just kind of when he's quit Taste and he's just starting the Rory Gallagher band in the
Oh, so you're
early
you're
70s.
currently reading. I thought it was one
Yeah.
you had just finished.
No, it's really good. A friend of mine lent it to me last week, and it's a really good biography. A lot of
So
cool stuff about
I'm
growing up in Ireland,
yeah,
and then I didn't realize that he's from Cork, and the Undertones were from the same area as him. And
I'm
are you an
reading the
Undertones fan?
I like the first album a lot.
Yeah.
The
Which
first
album?
album is really good. I saw your CD ranking, and I think that the first album is fantastic. That second one that you guys reviewed, I like considerably less because the first one is so good.
And what's the first one called?
I think it's self-titled.
Is it? I'll have to look for that.
Yeah.
I'm liking them. That's good. They're a good pop band.
Yeah. They're a little bit more punky on the first one.
Oh, really?
But
Oh, that might be better.
and I that probably has more to do with the time, the late 70s, mid to late 70s.
Yeah.
But I'm reading right now, I'm reading the Liz Phair memoir,
Oh, really?
and yeah, it's just okay. Hey, Alex. And then I'm listening to the Dave Davis memoir on Audible.
Oh, okay. I can't do the book listening thing. I got to read the book.
Well, I listen to it when I'm at work because I
Yeah,
have a very quiet job.
I want to read
So
it. Alex, come on up with us, buddy. How many invites do I have to put up here? We don't have any friends, Marcia.
nobody likes us.
No,
So I got your notification that you were doing a chat. So that's how I
I was
found
sitting upstairs,
out.
said I can't do it tomorrow night because I got to work. So it's on Rob's channel tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, Northern Revolutions. And yeah, so I thought, just go downstairs and do one for fun. See who's around.
Is Lynn at home?
Yeah, she's upstairs.
We'll tell her I said hello.
I will do that. She might be watching. She'd
If
probably,
you're watching, Lynn, I hope everything's well.
yeah. We're doing good. We're doing good. No problem. Where's Larry? That's like where's Waldo? He's in the background somewhere. Just look for him.
Hi, Christopher.
There he is in Marcia's
Hi,
mirror.
Elliott. Have you watched Ghost Blues doc about Rory? I'm not terribly familiar with Rory Gallagher. What can you tell me about him, Glenn? I mean, I
Uh,
know where's
blues
flannel.
rock, heavy blues rock guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but great guitar player. I mean, just much better than
Uh,
an average
there.
typical player. He takes it the extra mile. I mean, he studied jazz and folk and but mostly blues based. But great vocals. He writes all his own songs. Excellent.
I think he's one of Steve's favorites,
Yeah,
right?
he is. Lynn says, "Hello, Marcia. Everything is great with 3 exclamation marks."
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So, Glenn, today I realized I haven't made a video in a while. I've had a rough couple of weeks. I had some dental issues and stuff, so my mouth was hurting a lot. Um, but I just realized the next Orlando record show is December 3rd. That's less than a month, and I still haven't posted a video about what I got when I went to the show with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
A
with
little
you and
behind.
Andrea.
It's only August.
I know.
Wow, that's funny. So did you post a video today?
No, I didn't post a video today. Well, part of the reason I was like, give me 5 minutes. So we put the Christmas decorations up at work and I was just covered in glitter. So I had to roll my shirt and everything before I jumped on here because I didn't have anything else I could throw on.
We were just talking tonight about putting ours up here in the house. I'm surprised they're not up yet. Lynn hasn't given me the bring the tree in thing yet, but it's coming. Oh, here comes Alex. Hey, buddy.
What's up, people?
Hey,
Mark,
Alex,
we
how are
didn't hit
you?
100 subs
Can
yet.
you hear me okay?
Oh,
Yes.
perfectly. Yeah.
Okay.
How
My
come
mic's been
it
acting
takes you so
screwy.
full on to get 100 subs?
Oh yeah, I forgot I had that as my title. But you know what? Yeah,
Did you make it yet?
I'm close. I'm like 92 or 93.
Oh, if anybody's watching, please go to Beer and Vinyl and give Alex a sub. He's got a great channel. He's very knowledgeable. He's a great guy.
Oh,
Man, come on.
He's got a lot to
Oh,
say.
stop it, Glenn. Keep going.
He does like the Lou Reed Berlin album. That is one negative.
Yeah, that's
But
yeah. I didn't say he had good taste in music. I just said he was knowledgeable.
Absolutely. You know what my problem is I like everything. That's my problem.
Yeah. So I had mentioned the other day that you got some really, really great albums in that last haul. Have you listened to anything since then?
Yeah, I'm getting through them. I have, like, if I buy anything, I always make sure I play them at least a couple times before putting them away. So yeah, I'm getting through the box, but most of these I'm pretty familiar with, but some of them I'm not. So I'm really excited.
So have you listened to the Gene Clark yet?
Not yet. I'm waiting.
Okay.
I'm waiting till I'm like in the perfect space to do that because the hype has been so.
Okay.
Just yeah.
All
you
right.
a fan of that record, Marcia?
I've listened to it.
Oh, here we go.
No. I just think I like him so much better with the Birds. I think he's a wonderful songwriter.
Oh, that's a beautiful album. It's not musically like Astro Weeks, but it's got that same kind of.
It's got that etherealness to it.
It does. Like, it's a magical kind of, just works. And all the lyrics are great. Every song's great. There's
a lot of instrumentation. It's pretty lush.
Well, if you get the CD with the deluxe CD, there's a second CD with a scaled down bare bones version.
I probably would like that better
and stuff. It's really good.
I was going to say, I would probably like that better.
Yeah.
But
I think you can buy that at Park Avenue CDs.
I'm sure I could, yeah.
But if I got that, I would have to change my name to Beer and CDs. I just can't do that.
Yeah. That's
you could
true.
put an asterisk next to the vinyl. ... Sometimes CDs. Did you see the back of that album cover though? Like, he is glammed out on that cover. That picture of, like, he's wearing a pair of palazzo pants.
Oh, on the Gene Clark?
Yeah.
Hold on, I got it right here. Let me pull it.
I got to get caught up with some people chatting with us here. Wait until after that show and have a super deluxe video. I don't know. Oh, wasn't Rory one of those rumored to be up for the Stones guitar gig in the mid-70s? I think even I was up for that gig. Like, everybody who plays a guitar was named.
What guitarist wasn't up for that gig?
Yeah. It's kind of like everybody, like a million. It's like 2 million people say they were at Woodstock, but there was only 500,000 there.
Yeah, he is wearing palazzo pants.
It's kind of hot.
I mean, that is a dream outfit for me. I won't lie. I would rock that at the Christmas company, party.
Look at that. The great Michael Noland. Everyone should be watching Michael's channel. If you're not, he's amazing.
Oh, that was for
Thank
Marcia.
you, Michael. He just subbed Alex's channel.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, that's one of those big deal subs.
Yeah.
That's
no offense to all the non-big deal subs, but
no,
Michael,
that's good. Sometimes, you always feel good when one of the big guys supports you. I had Melinda Murphy come on to one of our chats one night, and she commented, and I went, "Oh my God, like, I made it."
Wow.
Berlin is a great album. Charlie, I thought we were getting along fine, but
Charlie.
I thought I knew you. Hey, Michael. Hi, James. Evening, everyone. You're at 93, Alex. And he's talking about your IQ, I think. Marcia P, nice to see you on the small screen.
Hi.
Does he usually see you on the big screen, or?
I mean, there was a time back in the early 90s,
weird.
right? No, I'm joking.
You and Tony had a thing, or?
No.
Beer and Apple Music, yeah.
That's funny. That's a good one.
Spotify. That was for Marcia. Oh man.
He's saying wait until the second show and then do a deluxe video. Or the next show.
Hi, all the world the stage. The owner of my local Italian restaurant played cello for Tim Hardin at Woodstock. Wow, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. So I got this whole thing going on now. I was trying to do a video about it because I keep accusing this new Stones album of being a dust collector. Like that. Everybody's got own dust collectors.
Alex brought up a good point on our stream the other day.
What was
Well,
that?
you and Glenn and Marcia are in cahoots with this whole thing, and so I'm already feeling like the minority here, and I just,
I just jumped on the Glenn bandwagon because I'm friends with Glenn and Lynn. So,
Yeah, you always put your friends.
so on our stream the other night, Alex had said that's a lot of opinions for somebody who hasn't listened to the album. And I'm like, you know what, Alex, you're right. You're absolutely right. I can't argue with
I
that.
have sampled the album. I haven't.
I haven't.
I haven't taken the time to listen, but I listened to 20 seconds of each song and went, it's. I know it's not going to compete with the Stones catalog of the past. And when I listen to the Stones, I'm not going to be playing it. I'm not saying it's a bad album. I never critique the album in any way. It might be to somebody the greatest album, and I'm not going to argue with it. I'm just saying, for my own taste and my own pocketbook, that if I spent 20 or 30 bucks on that thing, I would listen to it twice. I would put it on the shelf, and it would never see the light of day again. I would be playing Let It Bleed. I'd be playing Exile on Main Street. I'd be playing countless Stones albums, and that one would never get any play on my stereo. So it's not
what?
to buy it. I would call it a dust collector.
But didn't Mazzy give you money to buy it?
He did. He gave me $15. Yeah.
I dropped out of your stream last week because
Yeah.
I was sleepy, but I did go back and watch it the next day, and I saw
I bought
you
heroin with it
money.
instead.
I was gonna say, well, you did the drug money, so
Yeah.
That was hysterical. I laughed really, really hard.
That was funny. He didn't give me enough now. You notice that was just the tease. The record's $30. He gives me 15.
So if you were to get it, what album cover variation would you get? Seeing as there's
different ones,
thousands and thousands
of Hackney Diamonds. There's more than one.
You can get the Major League Baseball edition. You can get the one with the glittering heart, and then there's one of a smashed car.
Thank God I don't have to worry about that. I don't know. So I was thinking of doing a video series on dust collectors. We all have albums. You know what's becoming a dust collector for me, Alex? You're not going to want to hear this. The new Steven Wilson album.
Yeah, I mean, you brought that up on Sunday.
Really fast. And I've listened to it at least 10 times, maybe more. And the more I listen to it, the more it's not that I don't like it. It's just I'm kind of going, is this over yet? Yeah, I'm having trouble.
Glenn, I know you did a show on like your Steven Wilson appreciation and like his discography. I don't remember. Do you have The Raven That Refused to Sing?
I love The Raven.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great record. Love the Raven and Hand Cannot Erase are the two, for me, just the masterpieces. So.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Steve. I'm not. Sam,
Alex, are you wetting your pants for this weekend yet? And if so, are you wearing a diaper?
Sam, don't you have like a Nick Lowe concert or something you're supposed to go to?
Oh, that's right. You guys are supposed to go to the record show this weekend, right?
Sam and I are hanging out this weekend, man.
Oh,
Glenn likes to say touching flesh.
I know Michael's a fan of the album, but I'm just wondering, Michael, like, it seems like it's fresh and new, and it's the bright, shiny new object that everyone's talking about. And 2 weeks from now, it's going to die down. Like, do you remember when Springsteen put out that album a couple years ago, A Letter Home? Oh, this is back to the way Springsteen was in the 70s. This is a throwback to his great era. And then that album's nobody's playing that album anymore.
You know what? Well, no, I agree with that. And also, though, I think, I mean, if you think of it, there's probably a lot of dust collectors, but like sometimes that's the fun part, is blowing the dust off and being like, I haven't listened to this in several months or a year or whatever. I'm going to go back to it now and seeing if it still has any staying power.
I do like that. Alex is right.
Yeah. But I got tons. I mean, I've got, probably total 3,000 titles in my collection. And so I've got tons of that stuff. I was going through my vinyl today, pulling one out for my video this morning. I went, geez, I haven't listened to that forever. I haven't listened to that. Like, they're all great albums, but I don't know if I consider them
Yeah.
That's
Like what
quite.
happened? What
Oh,
happened
we
to your
got a fan here, or a special guest, Elliott Crews.
Hey,
Hi, Elliott. How are
Hi,
you?
Elliott.
long time no see, Clint.
Yeah, thank you for
Nice to
coming
meet
on
you.
with us. Do you
Yeah.
know Marcia and Alex?
I don't know Marcia. Alex, I'm not sure if I do or not. I don't think so.
Well, pleasure to meet you anyway. But yeah, I've seen you. I've seen you a lot on the streams. You know, the big popular streams. No
Yeah,
offense, Glenn, but
I'm a spur in the saddle of the Hackney Diamonds. I've been giving them hell on that one.
Are you a fan or you're not a fan?
No, I'm an advocate. I'm just trying to be a counterbalance for all the publicity and all the hype around the Beatles, Red and Blue, and the Rolling Stones' new album. And I'm urging everybody to consider, instead of buying Hackney Diamonds, why don't you go out and buy some stuff that you're curious about, you've never heard before. Don't stick with the same old.
Yeah.
And of course that you know. And
I love your thoughts on that. I mean, the vinyl community is really famous for when something bright and shiny news coming out, man, everybody just goes, you got to get it. You got to get it. Like,
right.
Like the Stones in Mono vinyl box set that came out last year in colored vinyl. Man, there was like, talk about the fear of missing out. People, if I don't get it, it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not.
I just feel like there's so much great music, and I love the Rolling Stones and I love the Beatles, but there's just so much out there that we could enjoy that we probably, our ears have never heard, you know? Yeah. So I did a video the other day, and I have to admit it was a clickbait title for the video. It was "Don't Buy Hackney Diamonds."
Awesome.
and you know, usually I'm very much a niche channel, you know.
Yeah.
600 or 700 subs, and you know, I get 75, 100 views usually for any of my videos, maybe a little more sometimes. And it's already up to 2,200.
That's awesome.
And the gist of the video was, I don't say, don't buy Hackney Diamonds. Instead, this is what I did. And I said, I told about going on Discogs and clicking on the under $5 from a seller I knew, and so it has a lot of volume, and just picking different genres like Dixieland and bluegrass and folk. And I ended up with 10 records for less than the cost of the black vinyl Hackney Diamonds.
Wow.
For less than $33. And I showed the 10 records. You know, it was all in good fun.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Most people took it that way. They didn't. I had one person get all upset, and they said, "What right do you have telling me not to buy Hackney Diamonds?" I said,
geez.
"No, who are you?" And I said, "I'm just some old senior citizen sitting in my basement, you know, drawing Social Security, just, you know."
No, you're a wise, but you're a wise man. You've lived a long life, and you know what you're talking about. People should listen.
But you know what I'll say though about Glenn, because Elliot, I totally agree with you. And also, you know, it depends what people are into and what they love, and if they're collectors and all that kind of stuff. But Glenn, I will say, at least you're consistent for the most part, because you've also been a little bit apprehensive about all the Beatles stuff going on right now. Like, you're not just being like, oh, I'm a Beatles fan and I'm going to throw my money at everything. Like, you're taking your time with that too. So I appreciate your consistency, even if I disagree with your approach.
You were talking about Marcia was talking about some books she was reading earlier when I first came.
Yeah.
What was the book the main one you were reading?
Well, I'm reading the Liz Phair memoir, and then I'm listening to the Dave Davis memoir
from the Kinks. That okay. Yeah. Interesting. Which one are they both good?
I'm not into the Liz Phair one because it's like short stories.
Okay.
And I'm about 75, 80 pages into it. And it's like short stories about some things that she's done. We're calling back to like a conversation we had or she had with a stranger in her car. So it almost seems like she took the money for a memoir and then decided to write these short stories that really don't have anything to do with her experiences in life. Like she still wanted to maintain some of her privacy. So she's just throwing these little short stories out there. You know, that's kind of how I feel, except for, you know, she wrote a lot of pages about her childbirthing experience, which I mean, I'm glad everything worked out for her in the end.
Yeah.
But I have no interest in hearing
Is
about
the
her reading
Dave
about any
Davies
experience.
autobiography?
So far it's okay. I'm right at the point
It is an
where
autobiography.
they're like he's right around 66, 67. So
Does he tell some stories you've never heard before? Or that's what I always like. Am I going to learn something new that I don't already know? Because I've read Ray's book and I've read a book about the Kinks, and you know.
so there's not any, I mean, the one thing that, so I just finished the part where he was going into some of his relationships with men because he is bisexual, which I was aware of. But I didn't know that Pete Quaife was such a fashion plate. I just thought it was all Dave, but it wasn't. It was Dave and Pete. So that was the one thing I found surprising so far.
I'm reading a biography now that might be of interest.
Oh yes, that's on my. That's on my. Yeah.
That's on my bucket list. Is it
It's
good?
Yeah, I'm about 160 pages in, and it's almost a 600. It's a 550 page book or so. Yeah, I've gone through the teenage years in Tulsa, the childhood, the teenage years in Tulsa, the session work in LA with the Wrecking Crew, and we just finished the Mad Dogs and Englishmen tour.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd like to read that
Wow,
book.
and you're only at 165 pages.
Yeah, 160 some pages. And
I mean, those are like some critical years in his career.
Oh yeah, it's very, very interesting. This is one of the best biographies of a celebrity or an artist that I've read in a long time.
Oh, that's excellent. Good to hear.
I listened to a podcast with the author of that book, and it's on my Audible want list. It's pretty pricey. I think it's $25 on Audible right now.
Really?
So, yeah.
I'm gonna pick that up.
I paid for the book on Amazon. I probably paid $30 for it or something like that. But you know, I've always been a big Leon fan, so I said, okay, I need something to read.
That's good. I'm always reading a music biography. I just constantly. I got one coming. I'm reading the one on Rory Gallagher right now, and then I've got one on the story of the Jefferson Airplane, a biography on Jefferson Airplane. It's sitting underneath it, ready to go.
Glenn, do you have those? Do you have that first Taste record?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
saw Taste in 1969.
Wow.
Yeah.
I stumbled on a Taste twofer record at an antique shop about 5 years ago.
Both the studio albums?
I think it was both studio albums put in a twofer for like $4, and it was in excellent shape.
Awesome.
And I did not at that time know Roy Gallagher was basically Taste. I didn't know who Taste was, but I looked at it and saw his name in it. I said, $4. Yeah, here you have that. I'll take
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah, they're both great heavy blues rock albums. I'm intrigued by this comment. Glenn, did you see the Davy Strange Name video with you and Johnny from Rachel's show? What does that mean?
I actually saw that and commented on that. I told him I thought it was, I saw no reason why you would want to try to make fun of two of the nicest guys out there.
Oh, was somebody slamming me on Rachel's channel?
It's Davy Strange Name is Odd Bird. He does parody videos that make fun of a lot of people in the VC.
Oh, is he
He's
kind of
got-
like Invisible Ray?
Yeah, kind of like that. He's got Johnny L. I don't know if you know Johnny L or not, his fellow Canadian, and you in parallel on the screen. And Johnny L's doing most of the talking. He's upset with somebody, and you're doing some of the talking. And it's like, can you tell these two people apart or something like that?
Really?
Seems like
I mean, it's not. It could be a lot worse. I'll put it that way.
I've had Invisible Ray after me before, and I forget what he called. He did a video.
Yeah, those guys are. You know, I know Rachel's a very controversial channel and everything, and people can get upset at her.
I love Rachel as a person. Like, I consider her a friend. I don't watch her chat too often.
And I enjoy getting on there on her channel and talking sometimes. Sometimes she's doing a three and a half hour a day show 7 days a week. So, you know, sometimes it can get off the rails. It's kind of the Wild West. So if you don't have a thick skin, you certainly better not get on there.
Yeah.
But these guys, there's two or three guys doing parody videos that take excerpts from her show and
I gotta watch that now. Now I'm intrigued.
That just means you've made it, Glenn. It means you've made it.
I made it.
You're a celebrity now.
Hey,
it does seem like a waste of somebody's creative energy, though.
Although I look at it like maybe
my observation,
somebody might watch that and go, "Hey, I better check out Glenn's channel." See what?
Yeah, you're right, Glenn. You are right. I don't watch Rachel's show all that often because I'm at work when she's on, and I'll watch videos at work sometimes, but it's very hard to keep up with the live stream while I'm at work.
Oh yeah,
because I do get people coming over and asking me questions, even though I listen to audiobooks at work, because that's easy enough for me to pause and, you know.
right.
But I watch her show about once every 3 weeks or so.
We got excited because the Stones put out a new album and it was actually good.
What does that say about the previous 2 decades and stuff?
Don't worry, we'll get to the other stuff. That's what we do. There you go. Beatles fans on YouTube buying every colored vinyl of the single and album. No wonder it's going $1.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is something you can look at, is the more people that buy it right now, the cheaper it'll be to buy it used in a couple of years.
Yeah, no kidding. I love Miles Davis electric stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Jack Johnson's my favorite Miles Davis album. When people buying every color of the Beatles single, no one. Oh, number one.
How much?
It's a logic fiasco. FOMO buys got burned by rolling up pressings. Yeah, I stay away from all those. I've always rooted for Liz Phair, but I can't get into most of her albums.
I wonder how much of the purchase of those Stones and Beatles albums at the very beginning, how much of them are flippers who think they're going to buy it up right now and then put it on Discogs or eBay for double the price. You know, that's a pretty risky attempt, but I wonder how many of the sales are with that in mind.
I'm sure a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon, you know, if there's a shortage, say if the local stores hadn't got a shipment in yet, and there's some FOMO people panicking will go on Discogs and hit the button to thank you, but you know they're making so many of those Rolling Stones albums, and so many of those Beatles albums that they're going to be readily available. You know, if you'll just wait.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's what I'm kind of finding out now. Like, especially when I'm excited about something that's coming out, and I go, I gotta have that, I gotta have it, and I pre-order it, and I got, like, if you just cancel your pre-order and just wait, you take a breath. If you don't get it the first day, you can get it in a week. It's fine. Just relax. Like, I'm trying to get to that point now where I'm not freaking out that I got to have something right away. You know, and usually you'll save a couple of bucks doing that too.
Definitely.
There's a great album coming out this Friday. I guess I would, maybe for Dylan fans for sure, but most people, is everybody familiar with the singer-songwriter Cat Power?
I've heard the name, but I
Yes.
don't know their
She's
music.
one of my favorites.
She's really good. Did you ever see the documentary on Netflix, Echoes in the Canyon with Jacob
Mhm.
Dylan? And
Yes, he's so boring, Jacob Dylan. Ugh.
yeah, but she was in that. That's where I discovered her from that.
I
Anyway,
believe
I
she
bought a
lives
couple
in
of her CDs.
Miami now.
Really good, but she's got an album coming out this Friday. She went to England to Royal Albert Hall, and she did the whole Dylan set from '66 when he got booed and all that when he was with the band.
Yeah.
She does the whole set, the acoustic set and the electric set in its entirety, and the record's coming out this Friday. There's a bunch of samples on YouTube. They sound
Oh,
fantastic.
I'll be buying that for
She
sure.
does
And
like
she
the
does
Rolling
it in her
Stone,
own.
and she does. I mean, it sounds fantastic.
Does she
Is it-
change
is it-
the arrangements like she normally
No, she's
does?
pretty close to the arrangements, but
Okay.
just her vocal.
Because
Limited.
I
It's
have
coming out Friday anyway. It's called Sings Dylan Live, I think, or something.
Huh, okay. Well, if
Highly
you're
recommend.
like me, I've never heard Cat Power. I wouldn't want to listen to her doing her own versions of another artist like Dylan or something. So what album would you suggest?
There's one called Wanderer that's really good. Moonpix, I think, was one of her early albums that's really good.
Okay. Cat
But go on YouTube and listen to a couple of the Dylan tracks. They're really outstanding.
Cat with a C or
Yeah, Cat Power. Her real name's Chan. Yeah, covers. She does it. That's a pretty good album too. The
it
covers.
is.
She has a great version of Jackson Brown's
She does.
Days on there. Oh,
And I like her cover of Bob Seger's Against the Wind.
yeah.
Yeah. But her name is Sean. It's pronounced
Sean
Sean.
Marshall, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I always want to say Cat Powers because I
Yeah.
think Cat Powers is a better name than Cat Power.
Yeah. I think her first name's spelled Schan. Sean, not what it's Sean.
Yeah, it's Chan, but it's pronounced Sean.
Yeah. She's awesome.
So, but I'm sure other people out there would say, Marcia, why is your name Marcia with the CI? So who am I to judge anybody for the way
Yeah,
their
because
name
everybody's
is
using Marcia Brady. That's why.
I feel like Marcia is the P silent. Like, what is it?
That's funny.
I'll show you a couple of other books I've read recently. So since we're talking books,
Yes, I'm always looking for recommendations.
okay, this is highly recommended.
Okay, Robert Johnson.
Oh, that's a Robert Johnson book.
But,
Wow,
but now this is taken. The thing about this, the author is Annie C. Anderson. She is she's like a step niece
Oh wow.
of Robert Johnson. You know all the mystique of Robert Johnson about how he went away and nobody knew where he was for months at a time, and all that sort of stuff. Well, we know where he was. He was in Memphis, staying with family in Memphis. She was 12 years old when, she knew him growing up, but a lot of us when she was about 12 or 13. I think she was 13 when he died. And this is an excellent book that puts you in Memphis during the Great Depression, out there on Beale Street and all that area. And she tells about him as a family member. He was like, the uncle the single uncle that lived at the house for a while, and about the music that he played. He would play children's songs, nursery rhymes for the little kids. So versatile. He was playing with people. The thing I liked especially about it, it showed him as a person, not a mythical figure. And he was that whole unfair representation of him as being, an uneducated sharecropper, African American, in the Jim Crow South. Well, he could read and write. He was educated in the sense that he understood the world around him. He went to movies. He saw big bands play. He read the newspaper. He was a well-rounded person. And you never would have gotten that if it hadn't been for this book, Brother Robert.
What's the name of the author?
The book is called Brother Robert, Growing Up with Robert Johnson, and the author is Annie C. Anderson. And
C. Anderson. I'm gonna borrow
Annye is her first name. Annye. I guess that's Annie. Annie C. Anderson. And it's not a long book. Maybe less than 200 pages, probably. But
excellent.
Oh, that's an easy read.
yeah, it's you know, you can really get a feel for the time and place. And again, I can't emphasize enough to do away with that mythology of the man and really know something about the human being.
Yeah. That's what makes a book great, is when you learn something like like that. You get better and you get some insight, What is it? I'm sorry. The book's upstairs and I have no idea what it's called. I haven't looked at it close enough yet. That's about that guy making parody videos. Who cares? Hey, John, I'm guessing all those can be had. Oh, about the books. Out in the weeds. It's not flattering, Glenn. Don't let it get to you. I don't know if he thinks he's funny. Just thought you should know. That's fine. I don't. I have the thickest skin in the world. I could care less. Can we get a link to Rachel's channel? No, I must hear it. Not from me.
It wasn't on Rachel's channel. It was this. He lifts stuff from other people's live streams.
I'm flattered that someone would take the time to do a video about me. I wish I could have thought about all the Beatles on mono vinyl I could have had at the time. It's worth a fortune. Yeah, wouldn't we all have liked to have back in the day of bought original UK vinyl?
Yeah, we just didn't know what was going to be what the collectors wanted, or who thought about what was the best pressing of a record in the 1960s.
I know you were playing on a little suitcase record player, and you had that 4 quarters on top of the arm of the needle to keep it from skipping, and
That's right.
It was.
That's how my record player
was
was when I was a kid. I swear the stack was so tall it would, weave back and forth.
Yeah. And then you'd have one of those spindles where you put a whole bunch of records, 5 records on top of each other, and they drop down one at a time.
I kind of wish chargers would come back, or changers would come back, because then I would collect 45s.
Yeah, that's cool.
My main turntables, most of my main turntables, I've got several I just kind of rotate in and out that I repair, are dual idler drive turntables. And so if you want to get something to play 45s, and you can even, they're changers. They're made, you could, I don't ever do it, but you could stack records on there and play. The dual idler drives, like the 1219 or the 1229, are really high quality turntables built in Germany. So they have that great German precision, the Black Forest of Germany, where they build the clocks. Same company that built clocks built the dual turntables. They're built like tanks. You can't destroy one. If you maintain it, you can and service it periodically. That would be something you could play. I play 45s on mine. I play just anything. That's what I use. Just put a good quality, not anything fancy, a good quality card on it. I've got a ATVM 95E on one of them, and that plays beautifully. But the dual 1200 series, especially the 1219 and the 1229, which are the same turntable, except for the 1229 has got a one of the things that reads the speed to make sure it's adjusted just right.
Oh, okay.
I forget what you call that little thing there.
Wow.
I'm not very intelligent when it comes to different models of record players. I am not an equipment geek kind of person.
I can't keep all the numbers in my head, so I have to refer back constantly.
All that stuff has been replaced with passwords that I've got to remember.
Tell me about it. My computer's been dropped. My laptop's been dropped so many times. I'm afraid it's not going to charge anymore, because the charging, you just have to shake it and do it. And I'm going to have to get another laptop. And if I do, I'm scared to death. There's no way I can log back into all this stuff that I'm logged into.
Man, I remember when I was working full time at company, we were an American owned company, and they made us change our passwords like every 2 weeks or something. All of a sudden, you'd go to log in your computer and go change your password. You go,
Yeah, that's where.
oh, man, like how many passwords can I remember? Like,
Exactly.
oh, Cat Power is cool. Yeah,
Agreed.
Echoes in the Canyon is a great soundtrack. It is. Did they boot? No, she didn't get booed. Overnight since yes, I'm really excited about this new Frank Zappa release. That's one of the ones where I pre-ordered it and going, can I wait?
That's right. You're a Frank Zappa, big Frank Zappa fan, aren't you?
Huge, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
guess what I picked up the other day?
What?
It's not Frank Zappa, but it's Frank Zappa related. I believe he mixed it for him. I got the Captain Beefheart Trout
Mass
Trout
He
Mass
was the producer.
replica.
Wow,
And
yeah. And
one of those same guys that does those parody videos, when I was showing it on one of the live streams, it kept
That's
saying,
not a
"Oh, you'll
bluegrass
sell
album,
it
though,
in a week," and you don't like it, you don't know anything about it. I don't know why he was so attacking me so much for it, but I actually obviously it's something you have to put on with a very open mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd say after the 49th listen, you finally go, man, that's a great freaking record.
Well,
it takes a long time.
I decided that I think what it sounds like to me is if you took the old string band from Georgia, Gid Tanner and the Skillet Lickers, who were very out there, and then you took Cab Calloway's orchestra. You put them in some little village. You put them in a music store, a musical instrument store. Lock the door and give them peyote. This is what it would sound like.
That's a pretty
By
good.
the end of the night, that's what they'd be playing.
His early albums, like Ry Cooder played in his band his first.
That's what somebody was telling me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did have one other. I do have one other Captain Beefheart I bought many years ago, and it was the Radar one. I forget the exact title. It's got Radar in the title.
Doc the Radar Station.
Yeah, that's it.
Is
And that's
he,
a kind of bluesy thing. Yeah.
is he still alive?
No.
No.
Joni Mitchell's 80th birthday today.
Oh, okay.
Very cool. I hope that helps you get to 100, but I'm quite sure you'll get there without my help. I'm surprised he's not there yet. I don't know what he's doing to turn people off. But must be his looks.
At least.
What's the name of your channel, Alex? And I'll definitely sub.
Beer and Vinyl.
Beer and I can remember that.
I actually feel kind of bad like spamming everybody with the whole like rush to subscribe, because my channel's been live for 10 days. And so I'm approaching 100 in 10 days, which isn't bad. Like I feel okay about that.
That's
That's
great.
actually a lot in 10 days.
So
Beer
yeah,
and vinyl.
the two magic things this world provides us. It's,
Actually, Alex, did you tell us what you're drinking tonight?
No, in fact I wasn't drinking tonight until I got invited to the stream, and then I figured
okay. Well, I mean, you've been so you got to stay on brand. What is it?
I do, yeah. Same thing I was drinking in the video. It's Founder's Vanilla Porter.
Oh, okay.
But it's unseasonably warm. Well, warm here in Ohio. It's it was like 65 today. So
It's
Wow, we're starting to get cold here now.
It's supposed to be 80 here in North Carolina tomorrow.
Oh man,
That's very unseasonable.
Marcia, y'all having a chilly one down there about 92 tonight or what?
Tomorrow is supposed to be 86 degrees.
Where are you?
Orlando.
Orlando. Okay.
You guys are lucky.
You
We're
know,
getting colder.
The mornings have been chilly though. Every morning I walk out and I'm like, oh, need to put a coat on.
Can we translate that to Celsius for Glenn? What is
Celsius, well, Celsius is it's 3 degrees tomorrow Celsius here, so that's like 0 Celsius is your 32.
Well,
my car. Somehow my car thermometer got switched to from Fahrenheit to Celsius.
Yeah.
I have no idea what temperature is outside when I'm going down the road. I just
Oh, it's still on
coat on, or do I put it on? Take it off.
20 is 68.
Yeah, it's been
Okay.
24, 28. So it's been
I think you
70 something.
multiply by 2 and add 30. It gives you a rough idea.
Oh my God. I thought you said there would be no math on this live stream.
I dropped math.
Elliott, weren't you a teacher?
I was. I retired after 32 years.
Not math, though, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Let me,
I did.
history?
Woodwork.
Yes, history. History.
Okay.
Oh, I'm shocked. Okay, yeah.
That makes sense based on the description of the book and everything that you went through. I can definitely see that. Yeah.
I hear Clapton is getting back together. Yeah.
And did you teach high school or college level or
No, I was
elementary?
the redheaded. I taught the redheaded stepchildren of education, middle school.
Oh
Hey.
man, there is a spot in heaven for you because middle schoolers are the worst.
Well, you know, you're
Based on
dealing
my
with
experience in middle school.
I
you're
thought
dealing
high
with a
school
little
was-
child on Monday and Tuesday when they show back up, they think they're 30. You know, it's just sure. But I enjoyed it. 32 years in the same school system the whole time,
Wow.
and I enjoyed it. It was my home community. I live in a rural area of North Carolina, and as I told somebody, where I come from, my old town was about 1,000 people when I was growing up. It's about 3,000 now. And if you went off to college after high school, you either didn't come back, or if you came back, you did one of two things. You either opened some sort of a business, ran some sort of a business, or worked for your father's business or whatever, or you worked in some form for the government. You either were a prison guard, because we have a prison. That gave us 500 of our 1,000 people in town, by the way. You either worked at the prison, or you worked for the county government. We were the county seat, or you taught school. Because the other option was you drove a pretty good distance in one direction or another to go to one of the cities to work. So, teaching was kind of a natural thing when I knew I wanted to stay in my hometown for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Yeah, but Elliott, a town like that, you probably had some kind of ice cream shop that was called something like the Hasty Tasty or the Big Dollop Scoop or something, and everybody came from miles and miles around to get that ice cream in the small town in North Carolina.
What was it? The Blue Dart was the name of it.
Yeah,
The Blue Dart.
Mr. Wondrous is in Charlotte, not far from you, I guess.
I lived in Charlotte for 3 years, so I'm well aware of
where I live. You cannot get to Charlotte from where I live. You have to
JP
take a
is
bus.
down in Orlando. Who's JP?
I don't know. I'd be curious to find out.
Yeah, he might be cute. I'm traveling to work in deep north.
That's not why I was curious to find out, Glenn. But thanks for tossing that one out there for me.
I'm traveling for work in deep north Quebec. It's like 18 Fahrenheit. Yeah, I can imagine. Top Freud. I don't know what that means, but Mr. Wondrous. 80ish is here in North Carolina.
Yeah, it is.
Wow, crazy. That's nice. I would love
normally it's in the 50s now, so it's definitely significantly warmer than usual.
Wow, very cool.
I'll show you one more book I've recently read that I really enjoyed.
Okay. The Allman Brothers Band.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is by Alan Paul.
Alan Paul's written a couple of books about them.
Brothers and Sisters, the Allman Brothers Band, and the inside story of the album that defined the 70s. So it's basically telling, it goes back further a little bit to just give you background information, but basically it's telling you the story of after the two deaths in the band have occurred. So right after Eat a Peach album has come out, and they begin to work on begin to try to put the band back together after those deaths, covering the album Brothers and Sisters, which was the huge, album that made them much bigger than they had been before.
Yeah.
Up through the album, them falling apart again by 76, 77, with all the things that went on.
Yeah,
And
drug issues and murders and freaking.
Oh yeah, it was tough. But it's a very interesting story. If you're interested in how record labels and things like that might have worked back then, it's a lot about Capricorn Records, how it was put together, and the goings on of Capricorn Records, because the Allman Brothers were basically like a lot of like on was it White Whale Records that the Turtles were on?
Right.
When the Turtles left White Whale, White Whale just collapsed. Well, the Allman Brothers were the financial underpinnings of Capricorn Records, and it took a year to do Brothers and Sisters for various reasons. But one of the reasons was they needed to get the Allman Brothers out, and they wouldn't go out on long, 3-month tours. They'd go out and do 2 weeks of touring, come back, work a while, go out and do 2 more weeks or 3 weeks or a week, because they were making so much money playing those big venues that was the financial underpinning of Capricorn Records. So
I saw the Allman Brothers on that tour, Brothers and Sisters tour.
Did you?
In Buffalo, let's say 74, would that be?
That sounds about right. Yeah, 73, 74.
Yeah.
74
was Cher then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw them a little bit later, probably 70, right at the end of when this book was going on. I guess it would be 77 or so in Durham.
That's cool.
And then I saw them again on their 40th anniversary tour.
It's a great band. The other book Alan Paul wrote is really good too. That tells the whole story from beginning.
Yeah,
excellent book. I can't remember what it's called, but it's.
And he's got one other book that's interesting called. Well, he did a Stevie Ray Vaughan biography as well, but he did another book. He and his wife were both journalists, and his wife got a job or got an assignment. I think she worked for the New York Times or Washington Post or something, and got assigned to the Peking to head up the Peking bureau. And so he was doing magazine articles. So she was the major breadwinner. So he and his wife and their 3 children packed up, and for 3 years, they lived in China. And a lot of the book is about adjusting to being in China and everything. But he was searching for people that like blues rock
in China.
Had a hard time finding it.
No
but
kidding.
He eventually connected with some Chinese guys that were interested, and they rehearsed and practiced until finally they got it. They got the groove. They got in the rock. And so the name of the book is Big in China. So they became a very big band in China, and played some big shows. So it's an interesting cultural.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Somebody coming totally out of their own culture and being thrust into one that's very different.
Alex, another one.
Well, don't want to spoil it, but I've reached 100, so I have to change my name now.
All right.
So look at that.
Just change it to 200, or no,
Congratulations, buddy.
500.
That's the first milestone.
Maybe we'll meet that tonight.
You know what? I think I'll just take tomorrow off.
Toronto, check it in.
No, I got a live stream tomorrow, Glenn.
Yeah, you do. I don't. Just JP is a YouTuber from Orlando.
Look at Mr. Wondrous's comment about the Allmans were at August Jam. You see that one?
I live in Cleveland. My son's trying to get me to move to Washington State. I would move to Washington State. Thanks,
too.
Cardboard Head Guy. I mowed the lawn yesterday in shorts at Chicago on November 4th. Where's Charlotte, Alex? Hey, Steve, what is my sub count? Oh, you already did that. Mr. Wonders, I was in university, worked at UNC. You just did 100. Congrats. Yay, Alex.
And you just jumped over it.
Subscribe to Alex and Marcia. What's the other one? Elliott Crews.
What's that?
That's your channel name.
Just Elliott Crews is my.
That's the power of Glenn's stream. Don't
Yeah.
take that wrong. Yeah. I do
Mr.
have
Wondrous.
prostate issues. We discussed that the other night. So the stream's not as strong as you think. Oh, I love JP's channel.
Mr. Wondrous said that he saw the Allmans at August Jam
there
in
we go.
Charlotte. There it is. He saw Emerson, Lake and Palmer. What's PFM? I can't figure that one out yet. 250,000 people.
Yeah.
I had
Premiata Fornia Marconi.
Oh, that's the Italian prog guys.
I have a couple of friends that went to that show, and they are huge Allman Brothers fans. But they said that Emerson, Lake and Palmer stole the show that night.
Wow!
And for him to say that that's saying something, because
ELP was they were the biggest band in the world there for a little bit, which is interesting huge, given how not, accessible they are in terms of the type of music they play. But
yeah,
I mean, they were playing, stadiums all the time.
Yeah,
stadiums.
And they evidently were putting on a great show back then.
Yeah. I never saw Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Well, the bargain bins are filled with their albums, so they were selling millions and millions.
Yeah, like you can buy ELP albums like for $5-10 anywhere.
Oh, not even that much. $2.
Yeah.
And Glenn, you never needed to see ELP because now you can just go see Carl Palmer and he'll hologram in the other two, and it's just as good.
Really?
Yeah. Who needs Greg Lake? I mean, who really needs to see Keith Emerson when you can get a hologram of him and Greg Lake? And
absolutely, that's going to be the way of the future, man. Those holograms, these classic rock bands are not going to die. They're going to live forever.
Glenn, I wanted to ask you a question about a record, and maybe Steve can jump in because I think he made a comment too. I've never listened to this record in my life.
It's not that good.
Well, I knew that.
It goes from a couple of really good solid tracks to weak. It's all over the place.
So it's Bob Dylan's Harmony Codex is what you're saying.
No. Yeah, no, not that good. Not that but there are some really good songs on that album.
I think Steve commented on my page. He goes, I still like Empire Burlesque. I do.
Yeah.
Great. I mean,
it's not terrible. He's got worse albums. For sure. It's listenable. You can listen all the way through and not go, oh my God, that's brutal. But
well, yeah, I made that point of it. Still, bad quote unquote bad Dylan is still better than 90% of other stuff. So
yeah, we really got to go back and revisit those first 3 or 4 albums too. Gosh, that when he was just basically the folk singer. God, that was some good stuff.
Yeah,
it's all good. And I'm not disparaging the stuff that came later, but sometimes we forget just how good that was as a folk artist.
Yeah, from the second album on, like second, third, and fourth albums. I mean, just the songs he was writing is just unbelievable. That's Gene Simmons' next business venture, a holographic Kiss concert. They're playing.
You know what? They would pay.
They're playing.
The Kiss Army would fully pay
at Rogers Center. At the big
that into the next several centuries, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, you think the theaters in mid-sized to large cities, there's a steady stream of stage productions of music from the past. There's always, you get your off-Broadway shows coming through. Then you get like it was Carole King. There's a Carole King production. Carole King's not there, but it's somebody playing Carole King, playing her music. For years, we've had the Beatles tours, and you'll get a Motown review will come in, and people will come and they'll be that.
There's the whole band that does the
hologram is the next step in that, I guess.
Yeah, there's lots of that. I'm shocked right now there isn't like music concerts like using computer images of performers and then having like a live concert. I bet you with AI they're going to be able to do something like that. You're going to be like watching, a new Beatles concert. They'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Steve is shamelessly looking for 2 subscribers. If
I
anybody's
think I'm
watching,
already on Steve's All the World's a Stage.
All the World's a Stage. Go
He's
over.
got a good channel.
I think I'm on it. I think I've
He's
already
got a
subscribed.
great channel, Marcia.
Hey, Steve,
You're right,
I'm gonna
Alex. Shame
subscribe.
on
I
me.
promise I'll subscribe. I haven't done that yet.
Marcia, what is your channel? Do you do
My
videos?
channel is Marcia P. Period. But I have been very lax in making videos. I just started my channel back last December, and I wasn't really anticipating on moving forward with it.
Uh-huh.
And you can tell that by the quantity of videos I have put up. But
Well, there's no limit or minimum when it comes to making videos. When you feel the urge, you do one. When you don't.
yeah, it's, I work all day and then I come home, and by the time I've had dinner and everything, it's like, do I, then I got to think about what it is I want to put together, and then it's usually time for bed. So
I understand.
And we're starting a series with Marcia this Sunday. So like a CD exchange thing, like Graves and I do. We're expanding it to a panel of 5, and Marcia's included. We're going to record our first video this Sunday. So,
and Steve,
and Steve from All the World's a Stage, and who am I forgetting?
Larry?
special guest
And
star.
Larry, and a gentleman named Chris, who doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he has a music podcast.
I've listened to a couple of episodes, so I'm glad to know that there'll be another Gen Xer.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because I haven't listened to anything he's done yet. I was kind of waiting to meet him.
That's
Larry,
what
you're
I.
in Canada. Yes, I
Vinyl.
come to the U.S. a lot. My daughter lives in Florida, and
She lives not far from me, about 15 minutes.
yeah, so it's I'm more than aware of a lot of beaches. I've been to Myrtle Beach and all that stuff.
Oh,
You don't.
I could say some things
Not
about
Dirty
that.
Myrtle.
Yeah, that was years ago.
Definitely Dirty Myrtle.
Dirty Myrtle.
You be careful.
never
You get
been.
shot at Myrtle Beach if you're not careful.
Eagles and wings.
Yeah. Alex, you're up to 103 because I just subbed.
Ah,
I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
see if I can
Elliott.
find Marcia's.
Alex, you better send me some VCLT for this.
I was gonna say,
I'm
look
working on
at
it, Glenn.
all that Glenn is doing for you.
Yeah,
Well, I'm gonna have to Amazon it because I don't want to pay $30 in shipping to send a
you're
$10
gonna have to
record.
become my butler or something, like to work this off.
You'll have to get rid of your current butler then.
All right, Marcia, you're up to
Okay, Larry. Sorry, you're gonna have to
359
go
now.
home.
Oh, well, thank you. My phone just died, so I can't verify it. But
You're not the one with 8 subscribers. You're the one with.
no, I think the one with
358.
8 subscribers is a conspiracy theorist. Not,
Oh, we got too many of them.
I mean, it is the internet after all.
Yes,
so.
it is.
Yay!
I got to check and make
Prestige.
sure I've got All the World's a Stage. I'm almost positive I subscribed to him.
Oh, yes. So this edit album I bought with the first contest I won, which was the first contest I entered, which was also the first video I made. And it was for the Gunkles channel.
Okay, this is like milestone night. Steve just hit 6,000.
Let's get Glenn to 3,000. Come on, everybody. Glenn needs 900 more to get to 3,000.
Yeah.
I don't see All the World's a
staying on
Stage.
until I hit 3,000. I'd be happy to hit 2,100. I was told all my friends and cousin in France. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. My dog has a channel, Steve. I just got him to subscribe. What are your thoughts?
I'm subscribed to All the World's a Stage. I knew it was.
What are your thoughts on classic rock bands doing greatest hits tours and not releasing new material? I don't have a problem with that because I mean, I think probably 90% of people going to concerts hope they hear the hits.
Yeah.
That be fair?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I mean, who am I to tell them what they should and shouldn't do?
Yeah. As long as people are willing to go and see. And
chances are, if they do release new records, people like Glenn and Marcia P and Elliott are going to make fun of them and call them dust collectors. So
Well,
what's
that's
even the
not
point?
true.
What's even the point?
Exactly.
You know?
But that's not
Hey, there's no money in vinyl anymore, so
Yeah, I got to stick up for myself. Paul McCartney. I love Egypt Station and McCartney 3. I play. They're not dust collectors to me. When I go and look at my Paul McCartney albums and feel like playing McCartney, they have just as much chance to getting picked out as Band on the Run.
Steve
But if
has got
I
a great
pull out the
comment.
Stones, I know
how about the Red Rose
Diamonds is
Speedway?
not going to get pulled out. Exile's going to get pulled out.
How about Red Rose Speedway? Isn't that the title of
I
the
like
album?
Red Rose Speedway.
Yeah. I listened to it the other day because I was showing the records I was cleaning to put out at my record booth table at the vintage shop I put records on at, and I showed that one, and Harry said, "Hey, I want that." He said, "I'll pay for it." And I said, "No, I'll send it to you, no problem." There were records I picked up for $2.50, $3 that I would turn around, clean up, and put out. And so I cleaned it and listened to it before I sent it to him. And I don't know how long it had been since I'd heard that. I don't even know if I'd ever really listened to that album before. And boy, side 1 is killer.
It is good. It's a good record.
Side 2 I wasn't as enamored with, but side 1 was just really good.
Yeah, there's enough good songs on it. When's the last time I listened to McCartney 3? Probably in the last month, I would say. What is the Addy for All the World I'm sending to Shakespeare? Is that for All the World's a Stage? Is that what he's saying?
I think
It's got to
that's
be.
what Addy, unless he's talking about Adderall, he's talking the address. Yeah.
I want to hear the hits.
The
but I wanna hear
address.
anything from
He's
Addy.
wanting to know the address. Spell it with capital letters. All the first word in each of the words.
Yeah.
The first letter in each of the words, and I think it'll come up a little bit quicker.
Yeah. Red Rose Speedway and Venus and Mars are my favorite wings. Venus and Mars is like tied for #1 for me with Ram.
I have this childhood memory of Band on the Run.
Yeah,
My
great.
my
record.
best friend moved to Dixon, Tennessee, when between the 7th and 8th grade, and or the 1st to the 7th grade, and at the summer between the 7th and 8th grade, another good friend of mine and myself, our parents put us on a plane and we drove flew from Raleigh to Nashville, and his parents met us there, and we spent a week with our friend. They carried us to the mall, and in the mall, the record store, Band on the Run. There were big posters in the door everywhere, and they were blaring Band on the Run the whole time. And I'll never forget that. That's one of those embedded memories of mine.
Wow, wouldn't you love to?
Where were you when Band on the Run came out? I was in the Nashville Mall.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a great record.
Glenn, can you highlight Michael's recent comment about Paul and Roger? Yeah. So I think this is an interesting thing that I do want to discuss, because across all bands, right? Like, these people are getting old, like, and unlike other instruments, people don't just magically like lose the physical ability to play bass. Unless you're Phil Collins and have some kind of actual health issue that does not allow you to play drums anymore, and you have to sit in a stool or whatever. But the idea, like, I am all for 1000% these artists going and doing what they love until they physically make the decision themselves that they're no longer going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I frankly don't care how they sound. When I say I don't care how they sound, like, yeah, shocker, Paul McCartney and Roger Daltrey don't sound like they do from 1969. And there's a ton of artists. I would much rather have them go up there and actually sing, though, and be authentic and be themselves and do their thing and entertain people, than all this going on with all these tapes going on and people not even singing. I mean, that's been the whole Kiss thing.
Yeah.
Kiss has been on this whole farewell tour for 30 years, and the jury's still out whether or not they're even playing.
Yeah.
But that's not stopping Kiss fans from going.
I agree with you.
I had heard somebody saying, singers who can't sing, they should just give it up. Why are they still touring? And I heard somebody say, going to a concert isn't just going to hear somebody sing, it's about sharing a space with your favorite artist. And I'm like,
Yeah.
exactly. That's it. Breathing the same air as them. Being
And,
I don't know about all
I
three.
think you have two situations for artists and bands. One is they're just out there because they love it. They don't have to do it. And I'm sure that's the case with the Rolling Stones. They love being on the road and touring, I think. At least the core does. I think the rhythm section was pretty tired of it. But they just love it. If you're a big band, you can go out and you can live comfortably on the road and entertain your fans. And then there are the bands that had a time when they were doing well, but they're not drawing that type of crowd anymore. They never made the big money that some of the big bands made, and they're out there because that's the only thing they know how to do, and they're just trying to eke out a living. And some of them are having to play very small venues, playing fairgrounds, playing, just being, their name gets them some people there, but they're not making a lot of money. A case in point will be the Marshall Tucker Band. Doug Gray is the only original member left.
Mhm.
Marshall Tucker Band. The other members have either passed away or they agreed that Doug could take the band name with him. That's all he knows. He lost his voice 10 years ago. I have a friend that was a music related guy, had records, ran a instrument store, and he taught lessons, he played in bands. And he and another guy, the Marshall Tucker Band, was there in Raleigh playing, and Doug's voice was completely gone. And they had two of them got up on stage with them and helped carry the music, carry the singing through. But that's all he's got. I mean, he doesn't, there are a lot of guys out there that didn't make millions of dollars, and they, and maybe they make some bad investments over time, and they just got to get out there and hustle just to try. And there's enough people to go see them, but they're not going to sell out the pavilions in the cities or anything like that.
Yeah. And musicians love to play.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of it's a cash grab. I mean, do the Stones need the money to go out and tour? But I think they love to play.
Well,
Yeah.
whether the Stones continue to tour or not, it affects my life not at all.
Yeah.
So why am I going to let the fact that they're still out there touring bother me?
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
see.
Willie's still out there touring.
Exactly.
But I think someone's making this point too of like, we love the conversations about money grabs, right? Like anytime anybody does anything to make a living, we're like, it's a cash grab. The difference is though, is that bands today have to tour to make money. That is the only way they make money anymore, which is very different than how it was 40 or 50 years ago, when the primary way they made money was physical media sales. And yes, physical media, due to complete nerds like us, is doing better than maybe it was 20 or even 30 years ago. But that's the way. And especially when you take COVID and there were no tours that were going on for 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of those artists, especially, we're not worried about Bob Dylan or about the Stones, but most artists went completely 3 years, or bands went 3 years without making any substantial income whatsoever. And so, and when I say like those middle bands, that doesn't mean that they're new or that they're indie. These could be classic bands, some of the ones that Elliott was just referring to, that are playing more of like the fairgrounds, or they're playing the local clubs, or, I remember I saw several years ago, I was in like high school at the time, and I saw REO Speedwagon. So this was maybe 2008, 2009. I saw REO Speedwagon, and me and my brother were hanging out outside by the tour bus, and we wanted to meet like, Kevin Cronin and, do all the things. And it was great. And like the manager, like the tour manager, comes rolling in with like their catered dinner after the show. And it was just a bunch of Subway. And like, I'm sitting there and I was like, REO Speedwagon? These guys who are on the radio every 25 minutes with these mega hits are eating Subway? Like,
$5 footlongs.
absolutely. And it was like, I had this whole moment of like, what? Yeah, they're eating Subway. Of course they are. The same, you know what I mean? Like,
So much of stardom is an illusion, you know?
Yeah.
Good night, Trevor.
That's that's, you know, wow.
I was on the Hoffman forums and we were discussing songwriters, and you know, nobody gets hit worse with the new business model for music than the songwriters, because they're not necessarily touring musicians that can make money in that way. That where they used to be able to make money, you know, writing songs for bands and artists, and make a good living, a middle class living doing that. And if they had a huge hit, much more than a middle class living, you know. But in today's world, even like there are some guys that 15 years ago, they co-wrote with Taylor Swift some songs, or three guys, different ones. And so in some of Taylor Swift's albums of recent vintage, last few years, I know she's re-recording a lot of her stuff, or has re-recorded. Those songs were included. Each of them had a half of a song, a co-write. And they were not making, you know, and if anybody's selling a lot of physical media, CDs, records, and downloads, it's Taylor Swift. You know, she's selling from 200,000 to 600,000 or so of those. And they're making hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars. Now, over time, as it sells, you know, maybe it'll be a little bit better. But it's just that I think the going rate for a song on an album was 12 cents per unit. And if you're a co-write, if you've got an equal share, and you might not necessarily have an equal share, you're talking 6 cents.
Yeah.
And if you don't own all the publishing for your half of the song, you've got to split that 6 cents with whoever owns the publishing rights for it. So you get your calculator out. And remember, there's no math in this, but here it is. Get your calculator out and figure out if Taylor Swift sold 300,000 physical copies of an album that you got 3 cents on, what ultimately you might make. Because in the old days, if you made, what was the band that did Vehicle? Remember that song Vehicle from the late 60s? The guy that wrote that song,
My Vehicle, baby. It almost sounded like a Blood, Sweat, and Tears song.
Yeah, it did. I can't call the name of the band right now, but the guy that wrote that went on to write a lot of hits for other bands, like 38 Special, I think. Hold On Loosely, I think he wrote. And, you know, you could name several rock bands that they would call him in. Can you give us some song, give us some material? And he made a lot of money back when a band might sell a million.
Or if you wrote a song that was covered by a lot of artists, you could make a lot of, like John Hartford made a ton of money off of the Glenn Campbell hit, A Gentle on My Mind.
Yeah.
John could have retired. I think he basically did. It allowed him to do what he wanted to do musically without being a commercial musician.
Yeah, Ides of March is the name of the band that somebody put it up here. Ides of March.
Ides of March, that's it.
Yeah. Hartford said that the royalties from Gentle on My Mind enabled him to be creative without having to consider the commercial value of what he was doing.
Yeah.
He could be an artist and make what you could make doing that, because he was always supplemented by Gentle on My Mind royalties.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, have you got this one yet, Glenn?
No, but it's on my list.
Yeah. Excellent album. Sam Bush, Radio John, Songs of John Hartford.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
John Hartford's one of my musical heroes, and Sam Bush is right up
He's
there.
right up there too. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's on Smithsonian Folkways.
Yeah, I had years ago. I went to college with this woman. She was married to a musician. He was in Lighthouse for a short time. Lighthouse was pretty big. I don't know how big they were in the States, but they were huge up here.
I picked up an album by them, but I didn't know who they were.
He was. We used to go over there and party with them, and he'd show me his checks he was getting from. Like Lighthouse songs would end up on a K-Tel album or something like that, right? And he'd get these checks from whoever gathered all the information for artists and issued the checks for their, whatever money they earned. And he would have checks for like 38 cents and another one for $2 and another one. Like it was just like 10 checks that added up to $30 because one of his songs ended up on a K-Tel album. Like, and this is the mid 70s.
So
he must not have had, that was just for the records, right? Not songwriting.
I used to work with this woman. This is, many years ago. And her dad was Jerry Gold, who sang the song and wrote the song, "Oh, It's So Nice to Be With You," which, was all over the radio, at least in Michigan, because he was from that area. And they just had a house in the suburbs. He would play, a county fair every once in a while his wife worked at the cable company so that they could have health insurance. He was a fairly lazy man, but he didn't have to work, but his wife worked, a 40-hour week just off of being a one-hit wonder.
That's funny.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about somebody when you said that. My in-laws were talking about somebody, one of their cousins or something, and they were talking about how hard Dorothy worked. I'll just say Dorothy. How hard Dorothy worked and how she worked, always working, so busy working. And I said, well, what about Delbert, her husband? He never worked a day in his life. He'd go to the store and get the newspaper, go back home. And I said, well, he never worked. They said, sorriest man they ever knew. They stayed married their whole lives. Somehow he got away with it. I don't know. And he could not write a song.
He wrote that song, "It's So Nice to Be With You," and then she was the one who went off to work.
Yeah, there's a lot of musicians like that who make a very minor living, and they can do that because their wives work full time, or vice versa. The husbands work full time for the wife to go out and play. It's like there's a lot of that.
Yeah, he just would get these checks that would mosey on in these residuals.
What was he making? Decent money in residuals.
I was really excited about the new Willie Nelson album called Bluegrass because Elliott and I are both huge bluegrass guys, and I thought this is going to be amazing. And then I was so disappointed to find out that all he did is take his tired old Willie songs, like On the Road Again,
and
whatever, and do bluegrass style. I thought he was actually going to do bluegrass music.
He did a covers version of his own songs.
He did a covers version of his own songs, and I was thinking about it today. I'm going, he did that so he could get. He wouldn't make any money if he did a traditional bluegrass song.
Is he still paying off the IRS?
No, he's going to get royalties from songs he wrote selling this album, right? So he's going to get songwriters royalties.
That man is in his 90s. Just let him do whatever he wants.
I know, but I was disappointed because I wanted to buy the album. But as soon as I saw that, I went, I don't.
Well, I have mixed feelings about what you're talking about with an artist whose genre is, say, country or rock or something. And then they come into a smaller scale genre like bluegrass, and do a bluegrass album. Sometimes I feel like they do more harm than good because there's only so many dollars going to buy bluegrass records. And if Willie, for instance, does a bluegrass record, instead of somebody like Dole Lawson and Quicksilver, or name any bluegrass band, Sam Bush band, or whatever.
Quarries.
Instead of somebody going out and buying a Sam Bush or a Dole Lawson and Quicksilver album, artists that are not anywhere approaching being wealthy. They're middle class musicians, at best, if you're in the bluegrass genre, and some of them are working day jobs. Does that take away from the money that would be spent that might go to one of those artists because they see,
Maybe.
the neon lights of Willie Nelson or Dolly Parton or something with a bluegrass record, and then they spend their money there. But then other
Does it
people
shine a light on the genre, and then people it interests people, and they go investigate further?
that's the other side of the coin. Maybe that will spark enough interest that they'll go in and buy these other bands' music, go see a bluegrass band live in their community or something like that.
Well, maybe the artists are just tired of doing those same old tired songs and they want to give them some new arrangements. It's just a way for them to also express some creativity to something that they have probably grown bored with.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I just I don't know. Linda Ronstadt and her mariachi albums. Yeah, well, I mean, that's her heritage, and I understand she made those albums more out of love than I think for any kind of.
Do y'all see those albums in the wild? I never see those.
I saw one once, and it was over $100.
Wow!
But I believe they reissued it about 8 weeks ago. I think John bought one, didn't he? One of the reissues, Music Talk,
sure.
With John. John, if you're out there, let us know.
I think he did. I think you're right.
I've
got India to hear bluegrass music. Wow, that'd be cool. Well, I mean, if you source out some bluegrass artists that have worked with Indian musicians, Bela Fleck has an album right now.
Pull that album on YouTube or something and give it a listen.
But Bela Fleck is touring with Zakir Hussain right now, one of the great Indian musicians of all time. Jerry Douglas did an album called, oh man, I can't remember. There's tons of albums where bluegrass musicians worked with world musicians to play that kind of music. So
I'm not sure of the country.
Right there. Fantastic record.
This is with Bela Fleck with Zakir Hussain.
Yeah.
And Edgar Meyer featuring Rasheen Arashia. And I butchered those names. I apologize.
One of my favorite albums of the year. And
are they from India?
Yeah, Zakir Hussain. He's a tabla player. He's the most incredible percussionist you've ever seen in your life, and he played with Ravi Shankar. And he's a superstar. So
there's an example of
exactly.
I call it bluegrass adjacent music.
Yeah. Yes, I picked it up at Barnes and Noble.
Okay, so they did reissue it then.
Yeah, that's a
John.
level.
I like Linda's big band albums as well. Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, the Nelson Riddle stuff she did with Nelson Riddle Orchestra, you mean?
She was very versatile. I wish she still had her voice. I'm so sorry that she's suffering from a medical issues that make it impossible for her.
Did she get MS? Is that what Linda Ronstadt has?
It may be.
Yes.
I thought they thought for a long time she had Parkinson's, but I think just recently they came out and said it's not Parkinson's, but it's another form of a neurological type based disease or something.
Right.
But I can't recall what the name of it is.
Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. That's Larry and I have fun doing it. We've turned each other on to so much music, and glad you're involved too. And we're recording it this Sunday. I'll do a commercial. We're starting a new CD exchange idea. Myself, Marcia, Steve from All the World's a Stage, Larry Graves, and a gentleman named Chris Levine who does a podcast. We'll promote that when we start doing the thing. We're recording our first exchange this Sunday. So what we're going to do is we're all going to present an album that we want reviewed. 5 of us. There'll be 5 albums up for grabs. So obviously you're not going to choose your own album. So you'll have 4 albums to pick from that you want. You pick one to review. We can all pick a different album. We can all pick the same album. It doesn't matter. Over a period of 4 weeks, everyone has to pick something from someone else. You can't keep picking from the same person, so it'll all kind of even out over a period of a month. And yeah, so
That's a great concept. That's a
Isn't
good
it?
concept.
Yeah. And it's going to be over at Larry's channel.
Yeah, it's going to be on the Larry Graves Canadian Stud Muffin channel. We're recording our first episode this Sunday, so it'll be up sometime next week.
I've already got mine picked out.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about what to do. So
I was flipping through last night, and then I was like, oh, it was like a light came down from the heavens. I'm like, this is the one.
oh, there you go. Wow.
I have a feeling some folks are not going to be into it, but I'm going to do a hard sell.
Well, hey, you never know.
Is it about
Hey guys, I
murder,
gotta go to
Marcia?
bed.
It is not. It is not about murder. There may be some
Just manslaughter.
but let's just say the Grim Reaper may appear somewhere.
I love it. I love it.
I have really
Steve's already
enjoyed.
got his ready too.
I've really enjoyed the visit, you all.
Thanks,
It's so
Elliott.
nice to meet Alex and Marcia.
Thank you, Elliott. It was
Thanks,
nice
Elliott.
to
So good
meet
to see you again. I'll step on the side. Y'all take care.
You're the best, Elliott. Thanks. We're going to bed anyway.
Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Steve's already got his picked out. Marcia, it's cool. Marshall's involved going forward with it. Could Elliott and Alex get involved as guests for the new exchange? We've kind of got set on a panel, but if someone drops out, we'll have a waiting list.
So I was actually coming up with names for my rankings.
Names for your rankings?
Yeah, like
Mean
1
what?
through 10.
Yeah.
So all will be unveiled
Oh.
on Sunday. So no, I was thinking like my number 1
Yeah.
is Hit the Road Jack. My number 2 is Loser. Number
Okay.
3 is You're No Good.
Oh, that's funny. Use song names for
yeah.
to describe the album. That's really
exactly.
funny. But you have to have a number 2 because I want to keep track of it. How we do.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. So he had said we're gonna rank them or rate them 1 through 10. That's why I was like, I got to put song titles to it to.
Okay. I just need the number because if it's an 8, then 1 week you get an 8, next week you get a 5, next week you get a 6. I want to add them up together after a period of a couple of months. I want to see who got the best ranking numbers out of everybody.
Yeah, we'll have to do averages and stuff.
Yeah. Good job speaking, Alex.
Thank you.
Well, this was a big night. Alex hits 100 subscribers. Steve hits 600. That's amazing.
What song name is a 10, Marcia? Nobody does it better.
Are we doing whole numbers or halves in play? I think
feels,
half can be
feels
in play.
like the first time.
Yeah, half numbers can be in play. No quarters or 3/4 though. It's got to be either a half or a full. How's that?
So when I did my Zeppelin ranking and I listened to all the albums again, what I did is I assigned numbers to each song and then I deducted points if I thought there was a bad opener, a bad closer, how it felt overall. So then I did an average that way. So if you want me to round up or round down, I can do that. But
no, we can do halves.
Probably will come
7.5
in
or whatever
at
works.
points, yeah.
As long as it's not 7.342 or something. I feel we keep track of it.
The Russian judge
And,
Yeah.
always places low numbers.
and just to remind y'all, a 3.5 out of 5 is the same as a 7 out of 10.
This is why we're doing 1 to 10.
So
Wow, Alex, you're incredible. I like that. That's the Dick Clark method. It was a nice beat, easy.
You can tell Alex works in higher education.
Yeah. No quarters. Did you recently give one of Larry's a 9 points? Yeah, but we weren't keeping track of. We weren't adding them up over a period of weeks. I wouldn't have done that if I was doing like a math homework. Again, great statement from Alex. Boy, this guy loves you.
I feel like I'm being punked. I don't know. Like this is
Rakesh. I don't know what's going on here. Why?
I just
Yeah. You're
Is
the
this one of
guy.
your coworkers or something, Alex?
Honestly, it could be anybody.
Okay.
This gentleman's in India.
Well, it's funny. I have a little sister who, of course, she has already told me that she's going to be the YouTube troll. So she watches my videos and likes and hits smashes that notification bell, all that kind of stuff.
Smash the
And then
like button.
And then she'll just leave like a ridiculous comment. And so I'm like, thank you. That's great. So maybe I have no idea what's going on, but I'm happy to be here.
My family never leaves comments for me.
That's because you don't post any videos, Marcia.
They don't watch the live streams.
I never get them either. My wife sometimes, but
they don't watch the live streams either.
I just want to try something here before we go.
Oh, so I saw Loverboy at the Orlando Food and Wine Festival about 5 years ago, and it was so much fun. They played at the park in downtown Orlando, and it was a great time.
So I just pulled up this video here. It's can you tell them apart? Johnny L and Glenn Kellaway.
Oh.
Whatever this guy is, or whoever it is, Maria's.
They don't honor it. It's like that old Seinfeld episode where he tries to get his car rental.
So he's showing a video of
likes,
and he goes up the counter.
Likes when other channels get post, other than
and then he goes on to this whole thing, but you don't
Oh,
have to
see.
take a reservation.
Well, I mean, I
so
know the
me
difference
talking
between
about
the-
something and this other guy talking about something at the same time.
Well, I mean, you're the one wearing the hat. I can tell the difference between the two of you.
It's like, I guess he's saying we're just a bunch of rambling idiots here. LOL, between 0 and 100, 11 hours, that cracked me up. I like the timeline you gave. Two of the nicest guys around. Not sure you want to make fun of them. Thanks, Elliott. Let's put a little contest to that exchange. He got upset with George for not much needed truth. Some shit he didn't appreciate. And John got super defensive. All he said was, I wish you... Doppelgangers. I wasn't laughing, but I am now. He hasn't got many... It's got 112 views in a day. 27 comments, it says.
Well, I mean, I'm going to assume, like, he's probably got to have some pretty good editing skills to time whatever it is he's trying to do. So it just seems like it might be a waste of creative energy to be doing something like that.
Well, like I said, I consider it a compliment that someone even took the time to even think twice about doing something like this with me in it. That's funny. Wow.
So sometimes
it's only a minute and 40 seconds long.
Oh, well, I mean, then so it's not so much time, but
yeah,
you've not made it until somebody tries to bring you down, right?
That's pretty good.
We're next. We're next.
Yeah, I might do one on you guys right after this.
I don't make enough videos.
Yes, Dan, over 100. Just can't. Oh, geez. Well, we all stepped up for you. Yes. Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
If you don't go to bed soon, Elliott feeling will be hurt. Yeah, we're going to bed right now. I'm done.
Yeah, Glenn usually cuts it off about 10. It is 10:30. It's getting late.
Yeah. Epic Leafs win last night. Yeah, was it ever? Thanks, Marcia. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Glenn. It was good seeing you, Alex. I'll talk to you on Sunday.
Yeah, and thank you, Elliott Crews, for joining us.
It was nice to meet Elliott.
Okay, take care, guys. Have a great night.
Have
a great chat tomorrow night on Rob. Please watch Northern Revolutions tomorrow night with Alex and Rob. And okay, cool. Take care, guys.
See y'all.